Good evening, everyone. Here we are again today on February 10th. And we are at the end of another day, which actually is one more step towards manifested balance. And we are here this evening to continue the journey. So I want to ask at this moment if there are any questions or concerns that we can address at this moment. Any questions? Any comments about anything we said in the last sessions that we've had? Questions about anything that has come to your mind since our last discussions? Okay. No questions, no comments. Okay. Well, we have for the last few weeks, we have been talking about healing, and we've been talking about the healing of all of us. But primarily when we were talking about the healing of African women and African men, what we are actually talking about is the healing process for melanated people all over the world, sort of in the vein of Marcus Garvey when he named his organization Universal Negro Improvement Association. We've been engaged in universal healing for melanated people. And as we have done that, I think what we have done is shown what a community looks like. The pain, the tears, the suffering, the empathy, and the healing, all of which are a part of community, with the understanding and knowledge that our community has nothing to do with, goes beyond, rather, that's what I should say. Community goes beyond geographical location. Community is based upon a shared, shared beliefs, shared desires, shared culture. So I think that we've been engaged in that, reestablishing the community that most of us grew up with. And in doing so, we have also opened the door, opened the gate, opened whatever the aperture for deliverance to flow through. And that deliverance, first of all, has to be deliverance from the pain and the suffering, because those things will grab our attention more so than pretty much anything else. I am not saying that all the pain and all of the suffering has been dealt with. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I am saying that we've made one heck of a start on this journey towards the exposure and the healing of our pain. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a question for Charles, if he's on.
He's on.
Okay, Charles, this is Evelyn. I want to know, what were your feelings after you expressed what you had gone through? How did you feel?
Pain is still here, and it hurt because me and my daddy, father, how you call it, never had a relationship. I tried, but he wants stuff the way he wanted stuff, So we never did have a relationship long as he had lived on earth, because he never changed. He got married again and did the same thing to the other wife. So they have nothing changed. I tried loving him after all this, but he didn't want it. He wanted stuff to be his way. So he died in that way. Now I went through a lot of things, you know, did a lot of things I'm not proud about. And my life was really tore up. I did things I hated, but there's nothing I can say about it. But I think, this is the truth. I thank God for the family that I have in the church. And not only that, I watched men in the church, how they was with their children. And my pastor, I looked at how he deal with his children. And I wish I'd have met some of y'all when I was in my teenage year. I mean, a lot of stuff wouldn't happen to me. A lot of stuff I wouldn't have done. A lot of stuff I wouldn't have went through. Yes, I know things, learning experience, but it's a hard way to learn that way. So I'll tell any young person, if you have someone in your life can steer you the right way, hold on to it. I mean, I lost a lot of childhood because I had to become a man very soon. I had to take care of his children like they was my children. And that's why they all looks to me. And through it all, I had to work, bring food, clothing, whatever, they were in the home. So I hate the things I went through. I hate the things that I've done. I mean, it's hard to be a man and think about stuff that is in the world that going through. And not only I've been, beaten by my father's child, when I went to school a lot, I was gained by my own people. I mean, I was gained and beaten, thrown off the bus and stuff. And my own people did that. It wasn't white people. And I went through life like that. Yeah, if my daddy would have brought a gun in the house, if I'd have saw the gun, yes, I would have took my life. I had got many years of my growing up to take my life. I didn't want to be here. And not only that, yeah, some white people, I mean, they was good to me, and some they was not. And then some that was not, I would try to kill them any way I could. And like I said, I just went through hardship, and it's hard.
Yeah, Charles, may I speak to you for a moment?
Yes, sir.
Yes, your pain. Most of us, if not all of us, feel that. However, you have grown stronger, as Barbara was saying yesterday, in spite of it. And when you talk about the things that has taken place in the past that you did, only thing you can do is seek forgiveness, because you cannot change them beyond that. Not only that, but you should not beat yourself up because of things that you couldn't change. And the reason I'm so adamant about you not beating yourself up is because you regret them, and your regret equals to forgiveness for what you've done. You're not that same person anymore. And the person that you are um, came out of those horrors that you endured. Quite frankly, I'm just grateful to our Creator that you were able to endure it and share with us so that we could help you heal from the pain. That's what I meant when I said that through the last weeks, we have been shown what community looks like. And this community not only sheds tears with you, but also seeks to heal you in spite of the things that we ourselves have to face. So right now, I will say this without equivocation, that you are in the midst of a community that will do whatever it takes to help you heal and always be there for you, to encourage you and to lift you up beyond where you have placed yourself because of the guilt that you felt for things you didn't do, that you feel like you should have in terms of your mom, and things that you did do as a result of your own pain. Hurt people hurt people. So again, that the regret, the forgiveness, is all a part of the healing process. Thank you, sir. And I hope that you're
Pastor,
able to receive that.
I'm glad you said what you said because, Charles, I was talking to my sister yesterday, Mary, and you touched all of us. I'm telling you, we felt your pain while you were talking about expressing yourself about what you had gone through. And as if Pastor Jay just said, all of us, we carry each other. That's what a community do. We love each other. We try not to leave anybody behind. So thank you for expressing what you went through. And we appreciate you and we love you. We'll always be here for you. Thank you, Pastor Jay, for allowing me to say that.
Thank you for saying it. We don't leave anyone behind, but there are some people who want to stay behind. And when they decide that they want to catch up, we'll reach and get them and bring them with us. But we cannot force people to travel this journey, even though our desire is to get as many people as possible on this journey for change. Thank both of you again, Charles and Evelyn, for the question, Charles for the response. Is there anyone else who would like to run?
Well, I think Charles bring up a good point. Forgiveness is one thing. Self-forgiveness is hard. Self-forgiveness can take a while. Anybody want to talk about that a little bit? Because it's you. All the pain, all the hurts, all the memories, the experiences are still in you vibing. And self-forgiveness can be kind of rough sometimes. Just a thought.
Yeah. Would anyone want to speak to that? What that Ron raised, self-forgiveness. How do you feel about that? Have you forgiven yourself? And if so, was it difficult? And how would you speak to others who are seeking to forgive themselves? No one? Well, the question, I guess, is why is it so difficult to forgive yourself? Um, Could it be difficult because we don't know what forgiveness is beyond lip service? Could it be it's difficult because we have a problem living with ourselves? And
Could I say something, Reverend Richard?
does,
Yeah, for a second.
let me finish this sentence, okay? Does it make it less difficult when you know who you are? Go ahead, Kathleen.
I want concerning some of the women in jail, asked them that question, and they said the reason why they find it so hard to forgive themselves because they're always beat up by other people and family members. You know, they never can seem to forget what that person have done, especially if they done something to them, as far as stealing from them or leaving their kids on them or something like that, and on drugs, alcohol or something, then they get arrested. Then when they get out and they want to do good, then it's always thrown up to their face. And then they find it hard when they come back in there, they beat themselves up because they feel like, well, nobody's, you know, I have to keep reliving this over and over every day because it's constantly thrown up in my face.
Right. Yes, I understand you. Thank you. That's one of those things that we have heard all our lives. And that is, you have to leave the world in order to be saved. You can't go to the, you can't go shoot pool. You can't walk in a bar. You have to leave the world completely. Leave all those things behind you. But it seems to me that if you truly know who you are, then you realize that those are the people who need you the most. And those are the people who need your understanding and a glimpse into your experiences. Because regardless of who you are, there are things in your life that you did that were not so kind. And I hope at this point in your life that there's something in your life that you regret, because I don't believe that everything we have done in our lives is without regret. Something in your life is, even if you don't admit it. So I believe that and while engaging in this community setting, to extend it further, we seek to bring those into the fold, be they here verbally or physically, or be they here spiritually as those who we've never met. Bring them into the fold by virtue of helping them to see that regardless of what they've done, they are still who they were created to be, but their actions are not reflective of that. And it comes with prosecution, but it should not come with persecution. Does that help, Kathy?
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Any other questions or comments about anything? Ron? Is that the area that you were speaking to?
I think the thought I had when, because a lot of it, that question comes from experience with me too. And a lot of it is self-love or lack thereof. And you run through, especially in your youth, and you know, feeling not worthy or you don't measure up for whatever reason. And you don't deserve better all the time. And you have to move past that. So self-forgiveness has always been something that's hard, that you really have to kind of work on. It's a
Yeah.
process.
Definitely it's a process.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I just brought it up because when Charles said that, I just think that's part of what we're dealing with here too.
right. And it's not always those major things that's difficult that you wrestle with, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes there are things that, for example, the other night I received a text along with several other people about an accomplishment that someone had made, and award they were going to receive. And when I congratulated them, when I typed it, I said my intent was to say I'm not surprised, but I ended up saying I am surprised. Can you see the difference in that?
Hmm.
Even after I corrected it, I still felt so bad about it. So it's not just big things, it's little things. And I think if we can come to grips with the little things, it'll make it a lot easier to deal with those things that we consider to be bigger things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Question.
Uh,
Ron, I hear you, and I've felt those same kinds of feelings myself. But I want to ask you, and you said sometimes you feel like you're either not worthy or you should be doing better or whatever. Is that because you expect more of yourself? That's my
Yeah,
first question.
yeah, partly, yes. You never feel you always, to me anyway, I have been tougher on yourself, hard on yourself, and disappointments are greater with you than they are would be with anybody else, at least for me.
Okay. Um, well, if you switched it around and instead of thinking about it as a not meeting your own expectation of yourself, if you switched it around and thought about it as I'm on this journey and I know that I can do better, and look at it as kind of a step in the process. And also look at it in terms of the fact that because you're realizing that this is something you want to do better with, you are already halfway there.
Yeah.
Because most people who don't realize it either don't really care or they're in a much worse off place than you are. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. A lot of my life too, I chalk up this way, Audrey. Uh, I, I like where I am now in a mental and spiritual state this day, at this moment. February 10th, 6:27 p.m. I like my spiritual state. And the question is, would I be here if anything had been different? So that's usually what I fall back on.
Do you think it would be?
Possibly not. I don't believe in coincidences. So I may be somewhere else.
It seems to me that you could see it as all a journey with some tangents along the way,
Yeah.
but ultimately you are in a space where you're fairly content. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's good to hear, because I wanted to also ask you about when you mentioned that you felt a lot of rage yesterday. I wanted
Yeah.
to ask about that and see where you are right now.
That is something that has haunted me all of my life. That's why I mentioned my mom taking me to a shrink when I was a kid. Uh, I feel that mainly when I see or feel other people hurting. And that's one of the reasons why this has been difficult. Uh, and sometimes it takes a while to kind of calm it down. But yeah, I think the other night it sort of came out unexpected. And sometimes when I feel like I've gotten the better of things, I guess I let my guard down. But it's something that's been with me a long time. So,
May I ask a question?
of course,
Is it letting your guard down because you're guarding it so it doesn't come out, as opposed to being healed from it by exposing it,
I don't know. I guess my guard is always up. I always try to protect myself.
right?
I sit in the car when I get to work, I sit there and pray so that I'll get through the day. But it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm 65 years old. I've learned to live with me.
Right. Okay. Audrey?
Just one more question, Ron. Is it kind of a truth to power kind of thing?
Truth to power. Help me. I'm not
Sorry.
sure. I'm not sure I understand. Truth to power.
Um, Speaking truth to power, I'm asking if you are that kind of person who will speak truth to power, even though it can cause conflict, it can cause um, um, difficulty on your job, that sort of thing, or in your personal relationships, that sort of thing. But and maybe because you are not afraid to speak truth to power, but you can't always control how the power reacts to it. Is that a part of it?
Maybe, Audrey. I'm not I've never been tactful. If I see a wrong, I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna say it, and it doesn't always come out right. In fact, most of the time it doesn't. And it's not because I'm angry, but I'm passionate about it. Especially if you're hurting or saying something to hurt somebody else's feelings, I'm gonna let you know that it's not all right. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm saying the same thing, but I don't I don't bite my tongue if I see a wrong.
Hey, yeah, I think you're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be difficult. Yeah.
I truly think where we are right now tonight is a place of beauty, and it shows that a lot of purging is taking place and a lot more has to take place. And I truly believe it will as we follow the journey and concentrate on the objectives that we set out, love and harmony and peace. And it'll help us deal with who we are and some of our pains and disappointments that still uh, we still experience. I will say this to my friend and my brother Charles. Um, I'm sorry as I can be with all the stuff you endured, but I think you're one hell of a guy. You've always been a good friend, and so where you are today, I appreciate. So you've done well.
I think, in addition to what you're saying, Ron, that we heal humanity by healing ourselves.
Yeah,
And the things that both Evelyn and Charles talked about were very horrific. And they cover a lot of ground and a lot of things that people have endured. Some, maybe one thing that they mentioned, but then there are so many things that they talked about that it hits someplace which everyone, if it's not but one thing. And I think that's important for where we are. And getting that out is important as well, because as we move forward on this journey, the transformation of the chaotic energy that we seek to bring to a state of being life energy, that the transformation of that energy is not easy. And it does not come without that energy wrestling to stay what it is, or fighting to stay what it is. And many of the things that we are encountering and going to encounter are a result of the energy that we are transforming, our coming in contact with it. And in order, I think, for us to be focused, more focused than we have been, is doing what we have been doing for the last few weeks, purging, feeling each other, removing those things that have been powerful hooks in us that have caused us some shame, anger, disappointment, however it has affected you. And I believe now, as we go through this, we become even stronger and more determined to bring the energy that that has been so chaotic into a place of order for the benefit of humanity. And many of us, most of us, if not all of us, we've been through some things. And I think having gone through the things that we have encountered has prepared us for who we are today. And speaking of them gives us a reminder of the depth of empathy that we have to have for humanity, regardless of who it is. I think that our collective pain and our collective pain is so strong until it removes any idea of indifference toward anyone who is suffering, regardless of the type of suffering they are engaged in, the pain that they are facing. I believe that our purging helps us to see that we cannot be indifferent to anyone or anything that we face, definitely, but more so that other people are facing. And I think it would be a lot easier for us to maintain that if we are honest with ourselves and remind ourselves that we are the ones who has brought this chaos to the state that it's in, not to hurt people, not to cause people to suffer, but to bring people to deliverance, to show them where the entranceway to deliverance exists, so they can cross that threshold and be who they were created to be, as opposed to being afraid of the next move or what is to come, and using all the energy that they have to try to make ends meet, to live through this chaotic time. So I am very, very grateful for what Sharon, you guys have done. And we are always open to you to share. We're open to you to speak what you are feeling, raise questions about it. And yes, indeed, this is a safe place to do it, because no one is going to judge you. No one is going to judge you. Rather than judge, we heal. Thank you. Any questions or comments regarding anything?
Good evening. This is Barbara.
Mhm.
Just a comment regarding what you just said, and a message to everyone that everything that's been shared, everything that you sacrifice of yourself, of what you've been feeling, of what you've gone through, it's sort of like a sacrifice given on behalf of mankind. You expose you, but because you are part of mankind, because I am a part of humanity, everything that we expose and allowed ourselves to either be completely healed from or begin that healing process or be in that
Barbara,
process.
would you hold 1 second, please? Can you guys understand Barbara clearly?
No, it's muffled. I just
No.
clicked on to say
Okay.
that. We can't understand the words she's saying.
Okay. Barbara Jean?
Sorry about that. Let me get off
Okay.
headphones.
Yeah.
What I was saying is, I'm grateful that everything that has been shared, the rawness of it, the emotions that are tied with it, are like a sacrifice on behalf of mankind and on behalf of humanity. So not only did we bear ourselves, all of those who shared, bared our souls to each other, but it was a healing that's because we are one with everyone else in the world, not just our group. It is a healing kind of bomb that's going to go out on behalf of everybody. Just like you all, like we did, like you guys sacrificed yourself, your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, your discomfort. You sacrificed that and laid it to bear so that the universe could either completely heal, begin the healing process, or put you in a place of comfort knowing that it's done. you did it on behalf not only of yourself. You might think you're the only one who's going to benefit from it, but just know this. There are so many others that you don't even know, because it's in the macro, who are going to benefit from it, who've gone through these things, who've gone through similar things, and who've not even gone through similar things, but their own kinds of challenges and issues. And just know that it's bigger than you. And I want to just say that I'm just so grateful for all of you who allowed it to be done on behalf of so many other people that we don't even know. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Comments? In relationship to what we are seeing every day, where do you see yourself, or where do you see that we are in regards to that? And what I mean by what do you see, or where do you see us, is do you see yourself, who you are, clearer than you have in the past? And if you do, how does that affect you positively or negatively? And I use that very loosely as we move forward on this journey and as we interact with all the things that's taking place around us. Are you clearer about who you are? Go ahead.
I was getting ready to ask you about, repeat what you had said. I didn't hear it that good.
Okay. Are you clearer about who you are in relationship to the things that we encounter every day? How do they affect you? That kind of thing.
Well, with me, I'm clear who I am, but things that day to day, hour to hour, it hurts. But I just let you know now, I thank God for each and every one of you, because if it wasn't for y'all hard to be, soft enough to hear it and understand it, I don't know where I will be at today.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Charles. Anyone else? Every time we have a discussion, every time we bring to light those things that we've not understood, it brings more and more clarity to me about who I was created to be. And when I challenge myself because I did not seek this journey earlier, I have to remind myself that it wasn't time. That I was going through a period of preparation for such a time as this. And because I am able to see clearer, much clearer, who I was created to be, it helps me to be a carrier of melanin and not feel superior because of it, neither inferior for that matter, but not superior to anyone because of it, but because being a carrier I am obligated to humanity for bringing balance, wherein in my past years, I wore my melanated body as a symbol of courage and a symbol of everything that other people wasn't. I used the reality of my melanation to connect myself with Cushites, but in a different way than now. It was more of my chest out, arrogant type thing, as opposed to realizing the spiritual aspects of it, which were the whole objective from the beginning of the Kushite kingdom for us to be who we are, not comparing ourselves to anyone, but realizing that we are responsible to everyone. And we have no right to lord anything over anyone. Arrogance is not who we are, it's not who we were created to be. Boldness is definitely a part of who we are, but boldness with respect. So when I asked that question, I raised that question because I want you to think about what it means to you in regards to where you were. And at this time, I believe with everything in me, I believe with all the power of my ancestors and the universe that we were brought into this earth in a physical way to do exactly what we are doing now. And though our desires has uncovered the ruthlessness of white superiority, the ruthlessness of people who have no empathy for anyone, carrying a desire to bring even more racist people from South Africa into this country to lord over us. I believe that we hold responsibility for all of this that's happening. And by responsibility, I don't mean that we have unleashed something on humanity to destroy humanity. I believe that we have uncovered something that has already been unleashed for us to be able to bring healing to humanity worldwide. This is a global thing. And the children of the sun have always been global children. We have always recognized that we belong to humanity. We belong to the universe. And because of the nature of our coming from the womb of our creator and everyone else coming from our womb, we have a responsibility to them to help them to see the benefits of loving kindness and the forgiveness that's possible for all of the things that has been done, not just to us, but to the earth as well. Make sense to you guys? So who are you to yourself? Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Is there something, Audrey? Okay. If there are no comments, No questions. Before we end, I would like to leave you with something. Are there any comments or questions before we end this session?
Like to say your question is clear, but it's something to ponder,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
It's some real really looking at yourself, and it's not easy to answer.
thank you. Well, think about it. And your response to yourself will help you see where you are and who you are even clearer. There is a campaign that has been organized by several different groups of people who have come together to refuse to buy anything on the 28th of February for the express purpose of showing those who think they are in charge where the real power is. Because everyone who thinks they are in charge, the only power they believe in is that of money. And I see this as a beginning of the annihilation of the God of this world. If the society is to be beneficial to everyone, then everything in the society must be rethought, must be dismantled and reconstructed in a different manner. And as long as I have been engaged in things like this, I have not heard of so many people who are seeking to be a part of this on February 28th, refusing to click on Amazon, refusing to purchase gas, refusing to do anything that requires us to spend money on the 28th. Any questions about that? Okay. I want to leave you with that. And the decision that you make in regards to that is up to you and how you see yourself, how you desire, whether you have a desire not to respond to this call to cease spending on that day. Thank you. And I wish you the greatest evening that you've ever had and the most peaceful night that you can imagine. Look forward to seeing you on Saturday. And my phone is always available to you through calls or text messages. Thank you. And have a great evening. Love you much.
Thank you.
Wish you the
Thank
same.
you. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Hi, y'all. Thank you.